Simply by watching this red ball move towards this pocket, are we causing it to miss? The answer is possibly because of where the pocket is, and here it's to the left of the blue. In order to pot the blue, we need to get the cue ball into exactly this position. But it's possible we also try to anticipate the shot and the path of the blue. But to do that, we need to look to the left towards the pocket. But if we play the cue ball a little bit too far to the left while we're doing this, it's also possible we straighten the shot up, which could easily cause us to miss it thick. You could just try not looking at the pocket, but I've come up with something better than this that just involves focusing on something else. And here's how it works. For the last 6 months now, I've been testing the theory where you watch the cue ball after contact rather than the pot, just like that. So why does watching the cue ball help you aim the shot better? In order to pot the pink, we need to get the cue ball from where it is now into exactly this position on its left side, so we cut the pink to the right. But if we're preparing ourselves for the direction the pink is going to go, then we're going to be focusing more on the right side of the pink, and that could cause us to ever so slightly hit the cue ball to the right, and that can cause us to easily miss it thick. But if we commit to watching the cue ball after contact, there's no reason to lose focus, and the pink should head to the pocket, but it doesn't matter to us because we should be looking at the cue ball. But the big question is, has it improved my game? And I think the answer to that is a definite yes. In fact, I give it 9 out of 10, and that would be higher, but occasionally I do forget to do this, and I'll be looking at the pot entering the pocket. But I'm getting it right so often, it doesn't matter so much if just once in a while I'm looking at the object ball. Although I do think this must look a bit strange to my opponent when I've got a tough looking shot and I'm not really paying attention to the pot, I'm just looking at where the cue ball goes. I'd say I'm cutting the ball in more consistently. It might even be 2 out of 10 more on some of the tougher shots. And not only that, because I'm focusing more on the cue ball, I'm actually getting my position a lot better because I'm thinking about that rather than the pot when I'm on the shot. And thinking about the pot really wasn't helping me. Overall, it's helped me play shots a lot more confidently, but every year I try to improve 5 elements of my game, and here's what I learned from the other 4. 2. Completing the shot. Another problem I was having is with my hand, not quite going through far enough after I play the shot. It stopped there, and really it should have gone through to about there. And look at how much of a difference this makes in terms of spin I get on the cue ball when I get it right. Now you'd think this would be an easy thing to remember to do, but for some reason, no. In theory, this should be really simple to get right. I just need to make sure I'm pushing the cue through far enough every time I strike the cue ball. However, the reason I think I'm getting this wrong is I don't want to overhit some shots and I'm just quitting on them and stabbing at the shot a little bit. And the only real thing I can do to improve this is to keep practicing it. So has it helped my game? Well, unfortunately, this one only gets 2 out of 10 because I'm not getting it right often enough. I need to make sure I continue to practice this, because if I continue to push my cue through to the right place all the time, I'll definitely play a lot better. 3. A steady bridge hand. My bridge hand can move or occasionally jump as I play the shot. And I've discovered this is mostly because I'm not lining the shot up correctly, and I'm trying to correct it by moving my bridge hand. But this can also cause me to miss. I've been mostly successful in stopping this, but it's got little to do with keeping my bridge hand still and more to do with my confidence on the shot and my focus and belief I'm actually going to pot it. You see, on an awkward shot like this one, where there's a lot of risk involved and it's not easy to line the shot up in the first place, I'd find my hand might move quite a bit. Whereas with a shot like this, where I knew I lined it up right, I wasn't moving at all. I discovered the way to fix this wasn't by trying harder to stay still, but make sure I've got the shot lined up right in the first place, which is exactly what the next thing is all about. 4. Getting into position for the shot. As I just explained, I can jump around and move on shots where I'm not confident if I've lined them up correctly, and quite often the reason for this is I simply haven't lined them up correctly. My initial solution to this was just to give myself a couple of seconds when I first got in behind the shot to make sure I'm in the correct place and I'm going to be playing everything in the right angle before going on to play the shot. And this still might help, but when I was trying to remove all the balls from the table as quickly as possible one day, I discovered something a little bit weirder and something that's strangely a little bit more helpful. Imagine I've got to pot these balls as fast as I possibly can, but I can move the cue ball. So the way this works is I point my cue at the pocket and I'm going to bring it back and hit it as quickly as I can. So let's see if I can do this. Because if this works, it should show the basics of how the real technique actually works. Because these are all going in, even though I'm not really lining them up at all, because my cue keeps coming back in a straight line and then going through in a straight line. Now imagine I do exactly the same thing, walk in with my cue above the line of the shot, so I'm over the top of it, I pull my cue back over the top of the line, and I get into position rather than striking it straight away. And in doing that, I've now got myself on the perfect line to hit this red absolutely dead straight. So if I just pull my cue back, taking my time this time, push it through, look at that, straight in the middle of the blue spot. In terms of success I've had with it, I give this technique 9 out of 10 because I've discovered by walking into the shot with my cue above the line and pulling it back like I'm about to hit it and dropping in on the shot like that it gets me in a better position than anything I've ever tried before. And I'm more likely to be in the perfect place to play the shot. But it's not just help with this. I also give it 5 out of 10 for helping my bridge hand stay still. Because although it doesn't prevent me moving my bridge hand entirely, just as it doesn't stop me from lining up the shot incorrectly, it is a big benefit in getting me online, and it is reducing me moving on the shot by quite a bit. Before the next one, let's just find Alex, who's in Darwin in the UK, which is in there. 5. Grip and wrist position. You don't want to mess around too much with your wrist angle because this can have a massive effect on the rest of your technique. But it is good to keep your wrist in a consistent position from shot to shot. Watch what happens here when the position of my grip is just a little bit out. I actually missed the shot by quite a long way, and it looked like I lined it up and struck it right. So how do you get your grip in the right place every time? If you imagine the end of the cue as a clock face, then when you hold it, you can work out where a contact point, for me it's my little finger, is on the cue. So my little finger usually feels about right if it's about at 6 o'clock. Now if I can keep it here from shot to shot, then I'll be holding the cue in the same place every time, and my wrist actions should be the same. And watch what a difference this makes if I keep it in the right place all the way through the shot. Potted that nicely, and just to prove it works every time, if I keep it in exactly the same place, again, slightly further stretch in this one, but never mind, let's keep it in the same place again. Yep, that's better, straight in the middle of the pocket. And that's all because I'm keeping my finger in the right place. In terms of improving my game, this gets 7 out of 10. Once again, because I can't get it right every single time. It's definitely been a big help when it's working, but for 5 or 10 minutes it can go wrong every now and again. So I need to work on keeping this in the right place. If you want to look into aiming the shot or the cue action in a little bit more detail, then these 2 videos will give you everything you want to know. And remember, don't just watch, play, and make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel and visit the website. See you later.